Hey there, Michaela here. I am doing a review and a explanation of Tree Hugger cloth pads. I was turned on to them by a friend of mine in the late winter, early spring of 2015. I had read an article online about the waste from menstrual products, and I'd always wondered if there was an option out there that didn't promote so much waste. I had no idea about cups, pads, all the alternatives out there. So I contacted a friend that I knew was into cloth diapers because I figured she'd have an in. And she said all of her friends recommended Tree Hugger cloth pads, so I ordered my first set and I fell in love. I haven't turned back, and if anything, I've developed an addiction to them. So today I will show you my stash, kind of explain to you my experiences with them, and then kind of review a little bit of the different materials and just tips for beginners. So behind me I have my stash. Last I counted, I think I have something like 42 pads, which is a lot. You don't need that much when you're starting out. I just happen to really like them, and whenever there's special edition ones released, which I'll tell you about, I tend to buy more. So Tree Hugger cloth pads comes in 3 different fabrics. Bamboo, minky, cotton, variations of cotton, jersey, flannel. I have bamboo, cotton, and minky in my stash. I am a minky fan, but I have tried the different types, and I will show some of them to you now. So these are my bamboo pads. This is a heavy day bamboo, and this is an overnight, which Crystal has tie-dyed, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Her tie-dye patterns are fantastic. I wish I loved bamboo more because I love her bamboo dyed pads. This bamboo is pretty soft. It does act as an absorbent layer itself, so if you're having a gush day, a very heavy flow, bamboo is a really good option. So yeah, the hop layer actually absorbs and then it takes it into the core of the pad. So yeah, and a lot of people like the bamboo option because it breathes a little better than the minky. I am a minky girl. So here are some of my minky pads. I have them kind of organized by pattern theme. The fun thing about cloth pads is they have patterns and they're very fun. They make having your period a little more enjoyable. Depending on the day you're feeling, you can choose to have mermaid scales or galaxies or many other options. So these are minky. These have all been used, by the way. No stains. They don't leave stains behind. Cotton can, but you can treat them with the stain bar that Tree Hugger supplies. Mermaid scales. This one's one of my favorites, stained glass. So these are the panty liners. This is a heavy day pad. So you can see for thickness. They also come with snaps. If you're more petite, you can get a double snap panty liner. Heavy day. See the thickness on that one. This is a light day, another galaxy pattern. You can kind of see the difference in thickness there. They look bulky when you first get them, they are, but once you wash them, they're better, and they're so comfortable. They're worth it. When you're near the end and everything's uncomfortable, you don't want to sit anymore or touch that area, these are great. Another star pattern. And one of my favorites, most of my pads are from the Stash Dash or like the holiday sales. So they are the limited edition prints, but some of them do come back. This one is one that's come back and it's super popular, sells out almost immediately. Unicorns and trees. This is an overnight. So you got your daytime, your overnight, and your panty liner. Panty liners don't have the thicker core in them. They're shorter, light days, and then you got your overnight postpartum. They're great coverage. They're amazing for at night. They're comfortable. You don't feel like you're wearing a diaper. I love them. So one of my all-time favorite holidays is Halloween, and every year I buy Halloween pads and I'm never disappointed. So I have a pretty good selection of them. They are a mixture of cotton topped and minky. So for cotton topped, I have ghosts. They glow in the dark, a lot of fun. Again, thinner panty liner. And these have also been used. This is one of my favorites, the blood splatter, murder scene, crime scene in your pants for some of those that like that joke. This one's one of my all-time favorite Halloween prints. It's a paisley. Look, it looks like little skulls around the edges. I believe this one also glows in the dark. I haven't actually used this one yet because it's one of my newer ones. And then back into the Minky. I have little bats. This is probably one of my favorite ones too. You know, most of the Halloween ones are my favorite. Zombies. This one's, I laugh. Every time I use this one, I giggle. It's great. Crime scene, do not cross. Kind of the same idea of the bats, but little spiders. This one's a thicker, heavy day pad. And then monsters. This one's pretty cute too. It's like little skulls and bats, kind of cartoony. And then a pumpkin patch, which also doubles for Thanksgiving. Kind of a fall autumn. I use these ones all year because I love Halloween and they're fantastic. So another stash collection I have are cocktail drinks. For some reason I have developed a love of them. I'm not sure why, but anytime they're on there, I buy them. Most of these ones are cotton prints. Some of the prints that she gets that are really cool are cotton topped. Cotton, I have to say, is amazing for the summertime. I went camping this summer and it was 36 degrees outside. It was hot, there was no wind, it was terrible, and I had my period. Cotton pads saved my life. They were breathable, I could hike in them. They actually help absorb a little bit extra sweat so you don't feel that gross, sweaty feeling with hiking on top of having your period. So yeah, cotton is fantastic for warmer climates, and it's much more breathable. So this is my panty liner with the little drink. And then I just got this one this week. Cocktails, again, a cotton topped panty liner. This one's a heavy day. And then this is a light day. I actually got these in an auction during one of the stash dashes. They were fun. And this one's a Minky, and I freaking love it. It's little skulls in cocktail glasses, and it's pink. It's so fun. So these ones I got, one of them is mine, two of them are for my niece. I got her them for Christmas. I introduced her to cloth pads and she's all about them. I think it's great that the youth are interested in them and that the taboo around menstrual cycles and talking about it and alternatives is not as present, at least in Canada, where I'm at. And so yeah, these are my Christmas winter themed ones. This one's mine. Penguins, because I love penguins. And then these ones are for my niece. I love getting her pads. It's so fun. So this was just the Christmas release pads in November. So little penguins and polar bears. And I know she's gonna love this one. Little snowman with rainbow scarves. This is an overnight. Oh yes, and the pads are fleece backed. So you put the fleece side on the underwear and then the pattern side towards you. And then the fleece helps it not slide. If you do find you're having sliding issues with pads, moving too forward or too back, wear tighter fitting underwear. It kind of helps position it a little better. Or you can try the dual snap to help tighten it around the panty area. I haven't needed to use a dual snap. I've had no problem. I have a specific pair of underwear that I wear. I do know Crystal does sell the period panties, which are hilarious, and I'm planning to get a pair soon. And I know they're supposed to be a better fit for the pads. And of course, if you ever go to the Tree Hugger Cloth Pad Treehouse chat, there's an amazing community of women on there that are, it's the best internet community I've ever been a part of, and they answer any questions. They have suggestions on types of panties to wear with your pads so they don't slide, support for cleaning if you're having staining or if you've had a yeast infection, you need to strip your pads, any issues you may be having, laundry suggestions, support with postpartum. It's amazing. A lot of people I've seen on there with the big postpartum overnights make padsicles. They usually discuss how to do that there. That's something I'm not familiar with, but the community is fantastic for that information. So some more pads that I have here. These ones are just some fun patterns. This is a cotton-topped paisley. Cotton-topped cherries. I also have another cherries pad. It's one of my favorites. This one I got from Crystal she had one of her, I think it was a Stash Dash, if you ordered a certain amount you got a free something with it, and this was one of the imperfect pads. So Crystal often will have pads that don't meet her requirements. They're called imperfects, and then typically on Black Friday she will actually sell the imperfects, so it's a great way to start your stash with discount prices. This one here, I have no idea how it's imperfect, so I'm grateful that I got it, but it's, yeah, you get the little X on there because it's an imperfect. But yeah, no, it's completely fine to me. And then this one I just got recently too, Cherry Blossoms. And this one's a lot of fun. Sushi. I've honestly worn this on a sushi date. It was fantastic. And then this one is a flannel topped, which I actually really like the flannel, especially at nighttime, because it kind of gives you like that flannel jammy feel, kind of comforting. It's all feathers. As you can see, I have a pretty big stash. This next one are animal prints, actual animals in them, not like the zebra print, and they're great. I love them. So this one's one of my favorites. It's cats and the expressions on their faces. This is another one that makes me giggle when I use it. And another cat. I'm a cat person, by the way. Mustache cats. Seriously, one of my favorite prints ever. This is another flannel top. Oh, this one's cotton. This one's minky. This one's flannel topped, and it was I believe I did get this one at the winter Christmas one, not this year but the year before. Little owl. This one's a heavy day. This one's so nice when you're having like a really crampy, don't want to leave the house, miserable. It gives you just that like fuzzy blanket warm feeling. It's great. Hedgehogs, which are so freaking cute. And then I have a woodland print. This one was pretty fantastic because with some of these prints you don't always get the full animal, but I got a cute little deer right in the middle. Little mushrooms. And then foxes. I think this is one of my first pads that I got and one of my most used pads. So this one's used almost every cycle, I think. And then these ones are cotton topped flamingos. I typically use my cotton more in the summer. Cold winters are not fun, and I like the flannel and the minky for that. And then a little woodland scene print. I believe this one also did or still does come in the wet bags, but it's a really cute print as well. A little squirrel up there. And then I have just some overnight fun prints that I really enjoy. So some of them come in singles, some of them come in sets. The one set I got came with the dandelions in the purple, this beautiful purple pattern, and then there's a solid purple, which I gave to my niece because she's also a purple person. So these ones are really fun. And then kind of there's also a turquoise pattern set, so I got the arrows. There's a beautiful peacock feather one. I wanted this one by itself. And then trees. And this pad I use every cycle. This is one of my first overnight pads, and every single cycle I use it. So you can see there's no staining, it still looks fantastic. It's thinned out a little bit, but it's more like it's compressed, it still absorbs well. But yeah, this is I don't know why, this has just been my favorite first go-to postpartum pad. So that's my stash, a lot of variety there, mostly minky. When I started, I was using sea sponges as well, so I got mostly postpartum and panty liners. And then when I realized how comfortable the pads were and that they don't make noise like plastic does, I started wearing pads out and about because I work with people and I'm a massage therapist, so when I'm massaging somebody and I'm near their head, you get that lovely crinkle of pad sound. Not very relaxing, so I've never really worn pads much. And then with these, there's no sound when you go to the bathroom. The only sound you might get is the snapping, which is minor. Don't really hear too much, but you don't get the crinkle. There's no waste, there's no packaging. And they're actually really comfy to sit on when you're I get really bad cramps, so they're great for like that, just a little relief. But the one thing that has been a game changer for me with the cloth pads, leaves. Interlabial leaves. I got them as a free, or it was again one of those sales where you got the free gift when you spent a certain amount, and I got the leaves. I didn't know what to do with them. I had no idea, never heard of them. So I Googled how to use them. And what you do is you take them, you fold them long ways, and then you stick them between your labia, and it acts to direct your flow. So if you're a front bleeder or a back bleeder, you know, at night when you wake up and you bled up all the back of your underwear even though your pad's there, these stop that from happening. It's amazing. I am a horrible back bleeder when I sleep. I used to have to sleep with 2 pads because if I rolled onto my stomach, I'd bleed in the front and then the back, and it was a nightmare. So one little leaf folded, you can put it in, and yeah, you just insert it in between the labia, and it directs your flow. It's amazing. It's, yeah, game changer. So if you find, like, I sometimes find when I'm doing a lot more sitting, sometimes the angle of your pelvis changes it. Just pop in one of these guys, it'll flow straight down to the pad, you don't have any issues. They're also great if you're just having like a light spotting, like the day before your period starts or at the end. You can just use one of these by themselves. They're fantastic. I highly recommend them. Yeah, game changer. So for starting out your stash, I recommend going based off what your normal habits were with pads. It's hard if you were using the cup or tampons more because you're not sure your pad usage. I recommend, depending on your flow, like if you're a heavy flow, get quite a few overnight ones. And then, yeah, your daytime heavy ones. I think I started with 3 of each. I did have to do my laundry a bit more starting out, but now I find I have a lot. And I don't need to change them as often as disposable pads. I find they actually absorb more. But I just like using them, so I change them more often because I want to use my patterns more. So it's more of a just wanting to have fun with them kind of thing. But yeah, just starting with what you need. And some people I know, they only have enough, they wash every couple days. I do my laundry about once a week anyway, so I like to have a little extra. Panty liners, I don't use too much anymore. Once in a while I will, sometimes like the day before the period or like after we get the spotting. But if I know a lot of women that have the hormonal IUD that just spot, they say these are perfect for them for their whole cycle. They use them for overnights, their couple days of spotting. Like I said, I'm heavy, so most of my pads are the heavy flow ones. But with that being said, when I switched to Tree Hugger cloth pads, my flow actually shortened. I went from about 5 days to 3 days. I have 1 heavy day now versus 3 heavy days. And I still have cramping, but it's not as severe. It only lasts 1 day now. It used to be terrible. So I have noticed when I switched to the cloth pads, my cycle changed for the better. It's definitely been easier on me. I don't feel as irritated down there anymore. I find there's no smell with the cloth pads. You know, like there's always that gross period smell when you're using disposables. You don't get that with cloth pads. It's not like every time you go to the bathroom, like, oh, nope, it's fine. Like it's amazing how much the plastic and the chemicals add to your symptoms of your period. Granted, not everybody has the same experience, but most people, like I said in that chat, have shared that their cycles have improved. So yeah, I've noticed a huge improvement in my cycle, and I love the pads for it. So another essential other than your pads for your cycle would be your wet bags. So I have 2. I have this one, which has the front pocket to put your clean pads in, and then it has the waterproof inside pocket to put your used pads in. So this is my daily one when I have my cycle. So I throw my whatever in here, and then as I wash them, I wash my pads. As I take them off, I rinse them in the sink, throw them in the wet bag. Some women don't, and they have no issues. I just don't like them sitting there like that. It's personal preference, but either way, if you rinse them first or throw them in the washer, throw them in with your regular clothes, they clean. There's no staining, no issues. This one's just a straight up waterproof inside wet bag. It's a bigger one. This is the one that I store my pads in once they're used. So once I rinse them, I throw them in here until I wash them. So it fits quite a few pads. So yeah, like just for size reference, panty liners, 2 of them in here. Doesn't take up a whole lot of space. So yeah, it's a pretty big, I think this is the medium size bag. I know there's smaller ones. You can get like the little pocket size ones that fit 2 pads. I got that for my niece for school, so you can just fold up your pads super nicely. They also fold really nice. Little pad pocket, and then you can pop them in your bag. Away you go. If I don't have a wet bag with me, if I just need one, I'll just throw them like this in my purse. They're great that way. And then if you don't have anything with you and you've used one and it needs to be removed, you just fold it right back up and snap it closed. Perfect little package there. Works the same with the bigger ones. The heavy flow ones are a little thicker when you do that, but you can still fold it up nicely, and handy for if you want to fit more in a bag to bring with you or holidays. Then you can pop it in your front pocket. Pop it in your front pocket of your little wet bag. Zip it up, and away you go. I don't fold mine up in my bag too often, especially because with the heavy days they're thicker. But no, it's nice to have that ability to, especially like if you're like at school or you're in a public place, you can keep them folded to bring them if you don't have the bag with you. And some people store them that way too. I store mine all flat just because I don't want to have to open to look at the patterns, because you're not always sure by the backs of them what pattern they are. So I may be biased, but I am a huge fan of Tree Hugger cloth pads. I recommend everybody try them. Crystal and Scott are amazing. I'm impressed with their business skills and their customer service. They get back to you right away if you ever have an issue, if you've had a problem with a shipping issue. Crystal's phenomenal. Like I said, the Tree Hugger chat community is great. Crystal often hosts things like there's a game night where you take pictures with your pads doing fun things, like picture of a man with your pad, and the more creative you are, the more points you get towards possibly winning. I missed it this year, but I've done it the last 2 years. Yeah, I love that it's a Canadian business and they plant a tree for every pad you buy, so it helps the environment that way. Her shipping is in recyclable packaging. I believe it's also biodegradable, so that's always a bonus too, that when you're getting your pads mailed to you, it's not creating extra waste that way. Just they have a free shipping for life option. I have purchased that since I have so many pads, and that's actually a pretty fantastic deal. So anytime there's a sale or anything going on, it's great because you can just buy your pads. There's no tax in Canada, which is awesome. So you just pay straight costs of what they are on the website. And yeah, I love Crystal. I love her humor. I love the community. I love the pads. I've honestly never tried any other pads because I've been so happy with these ones. I have no need to. So I recommend Tree Hugger cloth pads. Try them out, see how they feel, experience changes in your cycle. It's a great way to monitor your cycle if you're concerned about hormone imbalances and changes, looking for clots, I know in Chinese medicine they recommend looking at the color of your flow. So there's an option there to actually monitor it. It's a good way to see what your health and well-being's doing. I can't say enough good things about them, but check out Tree Hugger cloth pads.